Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. This is the Sunday Night Cop. I am Gav. There is Emmet. There's Seany, back from his holidays, and Keith's on his holidays. He's gone somewhere sunny, and he hates the fucking sun. So make it out what you like. But that's what Keith's doing. I don't know. He just likes abusing himself in some way. Anyway, Sunday night, loads to talk about. In particular because neither of these lads were on last week. Seany had an excuse. Emma found drink and didn't make it. So there's loads and loads to talk about. Emma, I'll come to you first. There's been what we thought last week was like, oh, we're looking at this fella and we're looking at that fella, and we might get something out of it in the next week to see what's going on. And it's just been wall to wall rumour and speculation and narrative and whatever it might be. Let's start with Ekitike. Subject to a bid from Newcastle early in the week. That was rejected because there wasn't enough money and they didn't like the way it was being paid, i.e. instalments. Liverpool are giving Newcastle a ring and going, what's the crack with Isak? And we get on to him in a bit. And nothing's really coming of that. Eddie Howe wasn't great, in fairness to him, after the Newcastle match yesterday. But then Liverpool just advanced with Ekitike, and it looks like that deal is now imminent. What's your feelings on it? €95 million, possibly rising up to €95 million, and I've yet to see anyone, bar going, oh, that's a lot of money. I've yet to see anyone go, nah, he's not a good player. I'm not gonna pretend I've seen him more than 5 times. Emma.
I probably haven't even seen him that.
Right.
So all I was relying on was YouTube clips, and I suppose you could probably make me look like a €95 million player.
I
With
don't know if we
YouTube
could, Emma. I'm
clips.
not gonna lie.
But I read something on him, and I had this in my head. I was only chatting to a lad today. I had it in my head that he's only annoying. That's his position. He's not really great anywhere else. But then you're looking at these clips, and you're seeing him dropping, holding up the ball, bringing other lads into play. He's coming in from the left. He's coming in from the right. So as the week went on, and I know that we've spoken about him for a long time. We were speaking about him back in January, and everybody, particularly Dylan, I think, was really hot on him.
Yeah.
And then I went down my way just to have a look at him this week, and yeah, I think it's going to be a really good signing. Some people are calling him baby Isak, that in 2 years' time he's going to be as good as Isak. And that's not me trying to big up the fact that we may not get Isak, but all reports would point in the direction of this fella being an extremely good footballer, not just a number 9 like I had thought he was. So look, I think he had something like 22 goals last year, and when you look at his goals and assists combined, I think there's probably only 2 in the difference between him and Isak. I think he played 1 less league game than Isak. So look, I know it's Premier League versus Bundesliga. I think Frankfurt finished third today in the Bundesliga last year, which is probably a particularly good season for him or for them. So I don't think it's just the way things are gone these days. They're saying 69 million is the fee that's been agreed, that they're still kind of back and forth on the
Add-ons.
add-ons. But did Newcastle not offer 70? So have we not actually got him for
No,
less than what
Newcastle offered 80
Newcastle
million
offered?
euros. They offered 80 million
What's that?
euros. It's about 65 or 66 million
Okay,
pounds, I think.
right. So a couple of million more. They really went hard
Yeah,
on
but
driving that price up.
I think the big difference here is that Liverpool are the installments are different,
Yeah.
because it was a case of it's not enough money, and the installments they weren't happy with. Liverpool are in there at 90 million euros, I think, possibly rising to 95. So that's 80 million pounds, realistically.
But like all the talk this week was because Newcastle were interested. He's been on Liverpool's radar now for a while, and there's been talk of us being interested in him long before Tuesday or Wednesday or when it all kicked off. So look, we've gone out and we've needed a 9, we've needed a striker, and we've gone out and got one. I think it's going to be interesting to see now what we do for the remainder of the window. But no, I'm excited to see him in a Liverpool jersey. He looks a player. I thought 6'4", a little bit gangly and stuff like that, but he can play football.
Mm.
He's really good with the ball at his feet. So yeah, I'm excited.
Just says 95 million for Ekitike, 95 million for Colin Mawani, 75 million for Marmouche, 63 million on Jovic, 50 million for Haller, 30 million for Lindstrom, 30 million for Andre Silva, 438 million Frankfurt have made from forward sales in the last 5 years, which is fucking outrageous. They could have literally, if you threw Lukaku in there, they could have bought and sold Lukaku a few times, because he's probably gone for that same amount of money over the last 5 years as well. Jono says, we've slightly overpaid, but I don't care. As someone who's complained about the lack of spend, I can't now complain that we're spending too much. I love seeing rivals' heads falling off because we're spending. We'll get on to that later on, because that has been funny, in fairness, Jono. Seany, I think you've seen a little bit more of Ekitike than me and Emma. And by more, you could have seen him 6 times. but going off.
I'm going to shock you. I watched one game. I watched them playing against
Was
Spurs.
he good?
I watched them playing against Spurs in the Europa League, the home game. And I remember I was watching the Olympics and he was playing for France and he looked decent at the time. And yeah, the other player that stood out in that team was your man Desiree Doué. And I actually said then Liverpool should be going and fucking signing your man Desiree Doué, and then PSG had to pay 50 million for Doué as soon as the Olympics finished. But yeah, I haven't seen loads of them. But what I have done is I've actually I listened to a full podcast on the fly home about him, from a fella in Germany. It's actually the fella who does the English commentary in the Bundesliga.
Oh, yeah.
He done one on Wirtz as well, and he done one on Ekitike, saying that for a player of his age, he's probably the most accomplished striker in the Bundesliga at his age, which I think is a huge it's a huge, it's a big compliment. And another thing he said then as well, obviously when they were running through this podcast, they were talking about Liverpool fans potentially having reservations because of the price tag and Darwin Núñez. But the one thing he pointed out, and I don't like XG at all, I don't like it as a metric. I think the whole thing needs to be, if they repackage XG, I actually might pay attention to it, because we've obviously spoken to our names. Yeah, but basically the bottom line was, the season before Darwin Núñez signs for Liverpool, he massively outperforms his XG in the Portuguese league. He scores more goals than he should, basically. Whereas Ekitike is actually the antithesis of that. He underperformed his XG, which showed that there's room there to improve. And again, I looked at the clips, and the biggest thing for me is not the ball striking and his movement. It's his ability to see a pass and bring other players into the game. He's doing stuff in these compilations that I'm watching that shy footballers can't do. It's very Benzema. It's very Anelka. It's classy. I think he ticks all the boxes.
It's very Isak.
Yeah, no, it is. And again,
Isak's huge thing for me with Isak is what stands out of him is he sees a pass as well.
Yeah. His profile is very similar to Isak, and we've seen it. Like I know there's been mad discourse the last week between Newcastle fans and Liverpool fans, but I think both sides have been played by journalists a little bit with how they frame these things. I don't think it was a case of Liverpool saying to Newcastle, we want Isak or we're going to sign Ekitike. I think as they were looking for Isak, and Ekitike was the number 2. We've been linked to Ekitike for a while now, and I reckon if you're a fly in the wall and Richard Hughes' desk now, and you happen to come across a sheet of paper that he has documenting the strikers that he wants, I reckon Isak's number 1, Julian Alvarez is probably number 2, and this Ekitike lad was in the number 3. And I think that's what they're doing now. I think obviously the very unfortunate circumstance with Diogo Jota meant Liverpool probably pushed one down the line here. And I know I don't really, it's not great talking about in that sense, because it still is very raw, but at the end of the day, these lads will be thinking with their business heads on. As much as we don't like it, they will have they are in a multi-million dollar, nearly $1 billion business, so they will still have to be about business at some stage. So yeah, I just feel like again, when you look at the whole window, as to what we've done with left back Kirkes. You're getting the best available. Frimpong, the best available. We're bringing them in. Florian Wirtz, like, I mean, Jesus Christ, it's the best available. We've tried our utmost to get Isak out of Newcastle, and is there an end to the means? We don't know, because it still seems like that's maybe a potential story that's still floating. But what you can be guaranteed is these lads who have crunched the numbers for time at Liverpool and did it so successfully in the very beginning of the Jurgen Klopp era, they're backing this lad, and it's shown by the outlay on the transfer that they're willing to pay. Now that's another story as well, because I've seen 15 different prices today.
Yeah.
And I'll wait for Paul.
It was like being in an auction, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like bleeding Bruce Forsyth, higher, lower. You know what I mean? I didn't know what way it was going to go. I was waiting to
76,
see.
77. It just fucking like being at the bingo.
It's in and around there, and then if you want, like, just fucking change it to yen or the Bolivian Bolivian pesos, whatever you want to do it in. But
or if you're a romanticist,
no,
if you're a romantic, change it to lira.
I'm very, very excited by it. I think he's a very exciting talent. And then that lad on that podcast as well, I'll actually get it. You can link it on Twitter. He said that PSG were trying to bring him back, but the player didn't want to go. They let him go, of course. So that's another damning indictment, a shining indictment, should I say? So yeah, look, I'm all for this fella. You know, I love a lanky technical footballer. I have a soft spot for them. So yeah, well, bring it on, man. I can't wait. It's been an unbelievable window so far in Liverpool, and there's still work to do. And I think we're probably going on and talk about that. Like, this is absolutely mad. It's mad what's going on. I think it's some crack when your team just turns around and decides, all right, you know what, we might just build the best squad in Europe here and not ask a manager to fucking do miracle work and squeeze every last drop. The quality in this football team now is absolutely eye watering, and a thing that I keep saying is this Liverpool project. I think it's being sold to players where they're like, oh, I have to go to Liverpool. And we're saying that a lot. I read something earlier on that Adam Wharton apparently has told Crystal Palace that he'll stay for another year, because he's basically told that Liverpool will look at bringing him in next year, and he's happy to hang around. So, look, I think for as long as I've been alive anyway, we've probably always been the second biggest club in England behind United for obvious reasons, and we've always managed to pull one or two out of the bag. But like, the top players around Europe, or the top up and coming players around Europe, are now looking at Liverpool saying, do you know, something very special is going on there, and I want to be part of that. And you can't. But poor Alexander Isak is probably sitting in his hotel room somewhere going, fucking hell, this really should be me going there, and not this Ekitike lad. And maybe if he had pushed a little bit harder in the middle of the week, that it probably would have been him. But you know what, I'm happy with Ekitike. I'm happy for us to turn this lad into not the next Isak, but the first Ekitike, the Ekitike. So yeah, I'm buzzing with the gaff, genuinely buzzing. And then watching the pre-season and stuff today, that friendly today, like, Florian Wirtz doesn't look like he can be arsed playing against Stoke, to be honest, just taking the piss, walking around, to be honest.
He's playing his bollocks with it already.
Yeah.
He's like genuine. He's just like, yeah, I just scored that there. I'm fucking giving you a break. Davey T, a resident Newcastle man, says the pitchforks and lanterns are out for a lot of the journals up here, i.e. in Newcastle, in the northeast. None of them are respected. Some of our YouTube streamers are getting stick. Doom and gloom clickbaiters. Look, Davey, you're going to come across that, right? One thing we don't do is clickbait. We just don't. It's not our style. We wouldn't be able to. Well, we wouldn't be any good at it, to be fair. But what we've looked at, Davey, and it was very nice for Davey to be in the chat the other night when we were talking about Isak and stuff, and there was another guy named Aaron, I think it was. And given the Newcastle side of stuff, what we've looked at, Davey, is actually what's being said and what's apparently being done, you know, the sort of way. I don't like I don't know where it is, Davey. That's being honest with you. You can only kind of pick what you see, and like Eddie Howe yesterday was atrocious. I'm going to put it to you, Davey. He was fucking atrocious. This is what I've been saying all week, and I've got some stick this week by saying, well, why should he tell you he's not for sale? They don't owe you anything. They don't owe us as a club anything. I was like, yeah, but you just put it to bed. Like, you left a player out there yesterday, and a manager made that decision because of the speculation around him, and you could literally end the speculation. Do you know what I mean? And just say he's not for sale. He's a little bit of an injury. We're managing him, but I thought he was terrible, Davey.
His choice of words was shocking.
Yeah,
I believe, I'm confident. Like, there was nothing reassuring about it whatsoever as if you were a Newcastle fan.
Yeah. But look, we get on to Isak in a little bit.
No, I'm not. It's not going to rain tomorrow. It's 36 degrees, but I'm just gonna bring my umbrella with me anyway.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's what it was. Like it's. I left him out due to speculation. Speculation shouldn't matter if he's not for sale. Now, to be honest with you, it looks like the biggest diddle of all time is going on at the moment, because I actually read the stuff that came out there, and to be fair, Davey, I'd be more optimistic tonight if I was you than I was probably in other nights, because it looks like Newcastle might have sorted something out in a way to getting them to stay, but we'll see.
Yeah,
See.
there's Arabic newspapers are printing stuff tonight apparently, but just on Ekitike, I think we're all excited about his signing. Why wouldn't you be? He's a young lad. He's shown great potential. He's shown really good potential apparently. I'm with you boys. I've probably seen him play 4 or 5 times. I watched him, the Spurs at home to them last season. I thought he was quite good, but I get excited about any signing. Bring it on. Let's see what's going on. But Emmet, like, we don't know what's going to happen with Isak. If Isak doesn't happen, fair enough. But Liverpool probably need to bring in another striker anyway, right? Because we've all been kind of arguing this week, did he bring in 2 strikers? Did he bring in 1? Did he keep Nunez? Did he sell everybody? Did he bring in a Rodrigo? Did he bring Engamo up into the squad? There's been loads of kind of things floating around, but the expectation is going to be there on this player, whether we like it or not. The price tag, listen, 90 million euros sounds like loads of money, and it is loads of money, but in today's game, is it? There's just so many players going for between 70 and 100 million euro now. It's just the way it is, or 60 and 80 million pounds, wherever it might be. But the expectations being on him, is that a reason why you bring in another one, Emma? So you don't land this lad with everything?
Yeah, I think so. Look, I definitely think that we will either. So I think Diaz 100% goes. So if Diaz 100% goes, I definitely think you need to bring in another forward player, whether that's a 9. And I'll say it. I think the more it goes on, and this is not because he scored goals today or whatever, but I just have this feeling that if it's not Isak, that they may keep their powder dry a little bit and save their money rather than going out big on somebody. So I think that you might find Ekitike and Nunez competing for the number 9. If Diaz goes, they might bring in a more kind of a wider player, I would suggest, or a more versatile player across the front 3. But he is going to need support. I don't see him be like, eventually he probably will be the main man, but I think it might be a bit too much pressure to heap on him to be the main man immediately. 90 million is massive, but I don't think he's going to be on massive salary. So someone that comes in on a high transfer fee and high salary might get a little bit above their station. I think this guy is going to work for his money, for his bonuses, but definitely he's going to need some sort of stabilizers, rather than just going and being the main man immediately. So I think we bring in, if it's, I still would like to see us go for Isak, so it's the pair of them and move Nunez on. I think we'd be all right on the left-hand side if Diaz goes, with just having, say, Ekitike and Isak, even if Diaz goes, because I think we still have Gakpo. I feel a little bit sorry for Gakpo because everybody keeps kind of nearly forgetting that he plays off the left. We've other players that can fill in on the left as well. A mad one, Jones has played there, Wirtz has played there for Leverkusen and Germany. But then I also foresee Rio getting a lot of minutes this season as well. Or when I say a lot of minutes, he'll be getting a lot of opportunities rather than a lot of minutes. He looks to have kind of beefed up a little bit. He looks strong. He started both of the 2 games so far, and he looks lively. But certainly, I think that we do another one, but depending on whether Diaz goes or not, it's going to depend on what type of player, I think.
I would be amazed if Diaz doesn't leave the football club just by
Oh,
all
no,
the
I
sounds
think he
that's coming
definitely
out.
goes. Yeah.
You know, it's for me, all the soundings are there that I can see her thinking. You know, Elliot comes into this as well for me. I think the club look at Elliot and Nunez money to bring in your, or Elliot and Diaz money to bring in your Ekitike and you put Ngamoa into the squad, and then if you want to do something else, you Darwin Nunez goes and you add a few more quid to that as well. And I was trying to, people were like, you know, we will get onto the money that's going to be, has been spent, but when you actually work it out, Liverpool are probably committing to about £45 million a year for 5 years when everything's said and done, and that's what they're committing to. You know, it's eye-watering money in the terms of the top figures, but when you actually break it down into the length of contracts and what you would spend and stuff, I think they're at about 45 million. That's including signing Isak and Ekitike, by the way.
I think it's 145 million we've spent this summer's count to causes.
Yeah.
Where amortisation, considering the players you've bought in.
It works out around £49 million for the next 5 years. That's what it works out. That's what. Now, by the way, that's without selling.
I think what you're saying is net spend, is it, Seany?
No.
The
net spend.
I seen now again. I don't know how accurate it is, and I'm not sure how people have access to this information. But the one I seen earlier was basically based on what's been paid up front by Liverpool this summer. Like Liverpool could literally go. Liverpool could do another 6 players. Yeah. For all the same fees. Like they could do another 100 million, they could do another 80 million, they could do another 40 million, and they could do another 30 million player. They could do that all over again, and they'd be scaring PSR. That's basically what I read from it, what I gathered from it earlier on. That's how much room capacity they have to move because of they've just been frugal basically. We how long are we saying on this show that we're a transfer window point? And you think about every time you say that, you're saving a lot of money. Now, I know the PSR is only 3 years, but
it's not anymore. It's one every year now.
Yeah, we have basically the war chest is war chesting, is basically what I'm saying. It's fucking there now, and it's being availed of. But basically, the way I seen it framed was Liverpool could literally do these deals twice again, like every deal twice again, and be fine. So if they want to sign another 6 players, they could. That's how strong the position they're in, and that's why people are having a serious hard time getting their head around that, which I think is fucking brilliant. Like
it makes no sense though, Seany, because like when Liverpool don't spend money, everyone tells you Liverpool have no money, their owners are this or that they don't want to spend, that they've no pull. It goes on and on and on, and then when Liverpool do spend, everyone's like, "Oh, hold on, what's going on?" Like, who are these spending fucking money? And you're like,
he's a checkbook manager all of a sudden as well. By the way,
they're the biggest club in the country. They're the biggest club in the country. That's it. And you can say whatever you like about anybody else. Liverpool Football Club are the biggest club in the country, right? Strongest financial club in the country as well. And make no bones about it, that's the truth, right? And you can say like Newcastle have the richest owners in the world. I'm not even going there with Man City and Arsenal and Chelsea and whatever. Financially, right? If you took it all into and scored it over whatever series of metrics you want, Liverpool are the strongest financial football club in the country. That's it. Do you know what I mean? And they're able to do this because the planning they have, the way they pay it over 5 years, what they commit themselves to, they're comfortable to, and it's still they're only spending what they earn. That's the truth. There's nobody pumped 200 million in here and went, lads, go fill your boots. No, it's not how it works. No. It's simply not how it works at Liverpool. But look, touching on Isak, because I want like Davey's talking an awful lot in there, and you know he's saying the mixed messages they're getting from the manager, the media and stuff like that. Sean, I'll come to you first on him, right? we don't know what's going to happen here, right? We don't know what's going to happen here, but let's, people are saying there now, Ashley has a quote there. Al Hilal have already started talks with the Swedes entourage and know the terms of the transfer. Newcastle is asking for 130 million euros. That's from L'Equipe. Now, Al Hilal, of course, are owned by PIF, who own Newcastle. So people are saying, "Oh, we'll go there for 130 million and they'll loan him back." And I'm like, is Alexander Isak really agreeing to that? Where he's just a lone player at Newcastle that can be pulled back to Al Hilal whenever they feel like it. But Johnny, it may happen, it may not happen. I think Liverpool would like it to happen. Let's be fair. Let's not backtrack here and go, we didn't want them anyway, because that's ridiculous.
Oh, no.
Liverpool definitely like the player. Liverpool, from reliable journalists, have contacted Newcastle to say, we are interested. If you're interested in selling anyway, we want to be in the conversation. Now, if Newcastle are anything with Al Hilal here, Liverpool will want to be in that conversation. But if it doesn't happen, right, and he stays or he goes to Al Hilal, wherever it might be, what do you think the plan is here? Because me and Emma have spoken there about Engamoa or moving players around or holding players. What do you think the plan is? Is there another player on the list that you want?
See, again, this is it's a mad window, because when we were linked with rates, we were all in Liverpool and that came out and we were like, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna, and then we just do it. And then and they want Isak as well. And we've been trying our utmost. Like, if we don't get Isak, it won't be for I want to try, and it's not this PR show. It's very, again, the word of the summer is opportunistic, and Liverpool feel is an opportunity to get the striker, informed striker in world football out of Newcastle, and they're probably going to explore every avenue until they can. So that's why I don't think financial viability is a question. I don't think it's stretching stretching the blade. We're not having to loosen the purse strings here. It's just something that we can do, where we will be able to do. To be honest with you, I found Newcastle's rhetoric, not that because fans are tribalistic and they're emotional, and
I'm absolutely over.
No, we've been there. We've been there.
Look,
we've been there. We were there with Coutinho. We don't know with Suarez. I know what the dance is. I know exactly how it feels like.
Gerrard.
And I know how frustrating it can be. Gerrard, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't know with Trent. We don't know with Trent this summer. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite. But I found the way it's being reported from Newcastle side absolutely baffling. To be honest with you, there's been absolutely no consistency in thought of anything that they're saying. He's not for sale. It's 150 million. No, he's definitely not for sale. While Liverpool talking to the players, we know for a fact that Liverpool's representatives were in Austria talking to the club. Eddie Howe saying he's being left out due to speculation, but he expects him to stay. None of it just doesn't add up to me. And it's the smoke without fire thing. Now, I don't know what the crack is. I don't see him going to Saudi Arabia. I hope to Jesus he doesn't. I hope he's not part of some fucking fiddle either. I see them being loaned back to Newcastle, because I get you. I don't know. I think Isak is a player who's probably driven by being the top striker in the world, and I think he knows there's a spot there for him at Liverpool to go and do that. Much like Vince.
You're breaking up a little bit, Seany.
Yeah. So look,
there you go.
We'll see what happens. I just don't want it to drag on. I don't want this. I don't want it to drag on until fucking Monday Night Football or whenever we play them, and it's still up in the air. I don't know whether the window closes, or I don't know, to be honest with you, when the window opens and closes.
Here's one for you. I'm Davey T. You better be sitting down, because Indy Coyle, an exclusive from him.
Oh.
He understands that Liverpool has to submit a bid for Alexander Isak, and it's imminent. So there you go, Davey T. If you don't know who Indy Coyle is, go and check him out. You've not too much to worry about, Davey. I'm not going to lie to you, but he's the crack. He is the absolute crack. Emma, on Isak, there's a couple of options here. He signs a new contract at Newcastle, but that seems to be the furthest thing away from what's expected, and that's even coming from Newcastle's side of things. But how much do you trust that? Because Davey T is telling you, they're all shy bags, basically, right? He he goes to Liverpool. He just stays as he is, doesn't bother with doing anything, or he goes to Al Hilal. Where are you on it? Because I get like, like Shawnee said, the rhetoric there around, oh, he's not for sale. Eddie Howe's comment yesterday blew my mind, but now it's like, oh, Al Hilal are talking to him, but we know the links there, and then people go, oh, well, he's off to Saudi then, and then you go, yeah, where is he? Because like, is this a way of them saying, look, put the amount out there, and then Liverpool bid and they match it, and Isak chooses them, and it's nothing on the club, the sort of way. And I'm not even saying that'll happen, but you could run that narrative,
Yeah.
Or he goes to Saudi and takes £1 million a week.
I can't see him going.
Or he comes back on loan.
If he goes to Saudi, he wasn't the player for us anyway. Because he's 25. I know other people have gone, John Duran and all those kind of stuff, and I'm going to say something that might be a little bit controversial here, but a lot of those lads grow up in poverty, and when they have the opportunity to not only secure their family's future, but probably their town's future as well. Because a lot of these boys, like you see even Mane sending money home, building schools, all that kind of stuff. When they see the opportunity to be able to earn life-changing money, they take it. Something strikes me that Isak probably didn't grow up in bad kind of conditions or anything like that. But also, you've just said it as well. I think he's driven by success as a footballer. He strikes me as the type of person that wants to go and win stuff. He's the type of person that wants to be at a big club. I think this summer is now or never for Isak, particularly with Liverpool. So I've said this before. Somebody else has just said it there. He's 26 in August or September. I don't see us going back in for him next summer. And anybody that will go back in for him next summer when he's near 27 is not going to be paying anywhere near 120 million. They won't be paying 100 million. It'll probably be closer to 80 or 90 million, if even, that they're paying for him. But he's at a crossroads now where we've just signed Ekitike, or will sign Ekitike, on a 6-year contract. Arsenal are probably going to go out and splurge a load of money on Gyökeres, who'll probably sign 4 or 5-year contract. All of the clubs that he probably fancies playing for or thinks that he can go and play for and be a success are investing in other players. Barcelona, they look like Rashford landed in Barcelona this evening, apparently, to join Barcelona. But again, they're the types of deals that they're doing. They're not going to be paying 80, 90 million for a player. So I think for Isak, it is now or never. I think it's now or never for Newcastle as well, because he's a year older next year. They'll get a lot less money. I know that reports there the other day said that they're all right when it comes to PSR. They're all right now, but they have the opportunity now, and you probably have heard loads of people saying this is their Coutinho moment, where they make a massive profit on this lad, and they sort out other areas of their team. So nothing says that you need to sort out other areas of your team is like losing 4-0 to Celtic. They were absolutely abysmal yesterday. There's so many different areas of that team that they need to sort out. They need a new goalkeeper, and that's not because of what Pope did yesterday. They need a new goalkeeper anyway. There's talk of them trying to buy Trafford. They've literally got, what's your man's name? Botman came back from injury, probably be out injured again. You've got Dan Bourne at that. They need new defenders as well. Fabian Schär, I really like, but he's getting on. They need to start now building for a future. They have the opportunity to rise, not probably as much as we did when we sold Coutinho, but they have the opportunity to now go buy 3 or 4 players, possibly even 4 or 5 players, off the back of any profits that they make off Alexander Isak. If they hold off, or if he stays there. I read something where they can't actually afford at this moment in time to give him a new contract because of the increase in money that he's looking for, apparently. But this is their moment now to move him on, or move somebody else on. Like we're talking about Isak because we want to buy him. They may need to move on another of their big assets like Gordon or Guimaraes, but they're probably not as easily replaceable as Isak is, and they probably wouldn't make as much of a profit as they would do on Isak. So if they've bought Isak was it 2 years ago for 63. They're probably only in the hole for about 26 million now. If they sell them for 120, 130, they make a massive profit on that. And that gives them I think I read somewhere that it gives them the equivalent of about 300 or 400 euro, 400 millions worth of players that they can go and buy by using that profit. So I think this is their moment now to do it. And I think if they don't do it now, they miss out on that. If the player doesn't move now, he probably misses out on one of his favoured moves. And that's why I think that it's going to happen this summer. I don't see him going to Al Hilal. If anything, they're literally going to put in a bid looking for us to match it. And people are saying, oh, they'll bid 200 million, they'll sort out. They won't be allowed to bid 200 million because it's not fair market value. They can't do that. Like, I think what was Mbappe was 186 or something like that, was he? And Neymar's at 226. There's no way you're putting them in the middle of them two. So if anything, they'll probably bid about 130, 140 and expect us to match it. I'm not sure whether we go above 120.
It's
another thing though, just like with the Newcastle fans, like, and Isak as well, right? So give him the benefit of the doubt and say he turns around after winning the trophy at Newcastle last year, which we've seen how much it meant to them. Like, I'm not going to sit here and go, "Oh, it was a Carabao Cup." I'm not. I don't get into that. I don't play that game. I think it's a lot. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a load of bollocks. I think it's not for another team to tell any other team how they should or shouldn't celebrate what they win, unless it's a community shield and you're Mikel Arteta. Then I might have something to say about it. But you're Isak, right? They go and win a trophy, and you're thinking, do you know what? If you want me to hang around, go out and show me a bit of ambition in this window. And to be honest with you, that window outside of the Isak stuff has been a fucking shambles.
Well,
it's been an absolute shambles. They haven't been able to get hand done. They tried to get Joe Pedro. Thought they had a free agreed, fell through. This James Trafford fella that chasing him for months, and it looks like he's going to go to Man City.
Just stalling on Man City.
Yeah, they have a boy back.
They have a boy back. And there was talk, this Scalvini lad from Atalanta, they're trying to get him the last 7 weeks, and it looks like they haven't been able to get any deals done. Now, they signed the Lang for 55 million, which I personally don't rate him at all. I think there's 10 other wingers in the league they could have got for cheaper. Yamana Dingray went to Sunderland. He would have been a better signing for Newcastle than Alanga would. That's just the God on the shoot. To be honest with you, again, the way to show these players that you have all these ambitions is by showing yourself as moving correctly. And to be honest with you, like, obviously there's the whoppers on Twitter or X or whatever it's called. I went back on that to wind them up to now end for the crack. But amongst all the shite, you do see some decent ones, and that's kind of like, it's like Dave Downey. If you ever want to know what's going on with everything, you look at Dave's account and you see, okay, that's a balanced take. And there's some lads, the Arsenal account, you see, well, that's a balanced take. And you see a lot of the Newcastle fans, and they're like kind of going, like, fucking forget about Isak at the moment. Like, the state of us, the season kicks off for 6 weeks and we're in bits.
Come from?
You need to keep, and that's, I don't know, because it looked like to me that they were doing everything right. Now, someone made a good point earlier about Eddie Howe.
Maybe I should get Davey on to talk about Newcastle with me.
Yeah, well, look, if he Davey's in the chat, and he always seems like a fairly balanced fella. Now, he's probably here saying these fucking pricks under his breath, but yeah, I don't know what's going on there at Newcastle, and it looks like they were out a director of football, and apparently Howe was half down, and he's not. He's in now, and you see his press conferences, and you need to realise that Eddie Howe was very sick this time 3 or 4 months ago, like hospitalised sick. He was badly ill. Like, so it's not good. They're not operating well, and we actually seen what happens when you don't have a proper DOF in. Things go to shit. It doesn't matter how big and organised you are. It can't be done by one man. And let's be honest, like, call the fucking spade a shovel here. If you're Isak and you're sitting around watching all this going on, just saying, just let me go. They're willing to pay they're willing to shatter records here. Listen, he's a brilliant footballer, don't get me wrong. Newcastle fans saying 180, 200 million, and I know beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but he's not worth it. I think, was he the third highest scorer in the league last year? Now, he's behind probably Mo and Haaland, but still, do you know, like, 120 million would be a fucking brilliant deal for them, and that's me turning around and saying, obviously, I'd want maximum book for them as well, but you have this perspective as everything with these things, so Yeah, I don't know whether Newcastle do the diddle, but to be honest with you, I think it's very short-sighted for Newcastle not to do this deal. Like, just to turn around and say you held on to Isak for another year is fucking stupid. When you can literally,
If he doesn't sign a contract, Shawnee, but you see,
yeah, well, he's not going to stay there. Let's be
no,
honest. If he signs a deal, it's with the means of getting out of there. Let's be honest here.
it could be
I
a deal,
think it's
but
short-sighted. I think it's very short-sighted from Newcastle, and it sounds like that's probably coming from a Liverpool place, and I want them to play for Liverpool. But surely the idea of being better instantly and for the next 2 or 3 years is better than kicking the can down the road there. Because holding on to Isak this year, it's just simply what they're doing. They're just kicking the can down the road, and we'll go on and we'll be fine. We won the league without him last year. That's the God honest truth. We're not buying an Isak to go and fucking take us over the line. We won the league without him last year. So we're buying them to bring him in and supplement the squad. But now supplement's probably downplaying a bit, but add him to the quality that we have. So, like, we don't need Isak that much. I think he badly needs a move out of Newcastle. I think he badly needs it. And I think it would suit both the player and him for him to go, the club and the player for him to go now. I don't know how Davey feels about that, but with me Newcastle fucking hat on, that's the way I see it, because it's a bit of a shit show, to be honest, behind the scenes there. And it just goes to show you can have all the fucking money in the world. It's like all the gear and no idea. That's what it looks like to me with the PIF. I think it's a shit show, shambling wreck, to be honest with you.
Well, I remember Davey in the chat. It might have been Davey or somebody else mentioned that the way Newcastle being ran has changed dramatically, not for the better, since and the PR side of it, since Amanda Staveley left. Apparently she was really good at the PR and everything else. And look, if Davey's still watching, Davey, if you want to drop us an email, we could sort something out where you can come on and have a chat with us about Newcastle. Just from the Newcastle side of it, though, like, if I'm Newcastle, I'm saying to myself, look, I completely get what you were saying, Shawnee. You know, you want to, and Emmet, by the way, you know, this is your Coutinho moment. Go and get these players and stuff. But Newcastle's biggest attraction right now is to go and play with Alexander Isak. Do you know what I mean? Okay, you have your Tonali and you have your Bruno Gomes, Anthony Gordon to an extent. After that, though, like, well, not after that. Before all of them, your attraction is Alexander Isak. Now, you sell him for 130 and you say, right, we're going to bring in 3 players here, which tops up our squad for Champions League football, and we believe we can go out and sign whatever player it is to replace Isak, and we can get maybe not the same amount of goals, but what we're going to bring into the squad will bring us more goals somewhere else and make us better and stuff like that. But that probably was Hugo Ekitike. And there's a real shortage for me of number 9s at the moment. You know, Sesko's not getting a mention anywhere. I don't know why. He feels like
he's the only one that's left.
He feels like when everything gets sorted and one club are looking for a striker, he's going to move. That's what it feels like to me. Gyökeres will go to Arsenal, even though people are claiming United are going to come in and try scupper that deal. But from a Newcastle point of view, you know, they have to be looking at it going, all right, we get all this money in, but who can we attract off the back of it? Like, they're struggling to attract, right? If you take it as gospel that they're not selling Isak, they're struggling to attract your Joe Pedro, your James Trafford. They get Elanga. There's 1 or 2 more. Somebody had a list of players up there earlier. They're struggling there with that. Now, maybe that's a thing that people don't want to go and live in the northeast. Maybe it's they don't want to play for Eddie Howe. Think they feel like, oh, you know, they might sell this player, might sell that player. But right now, with Alexander Isak in there, they're struggling. You know, so I think Newcastle are in a very difficult situation here, where do they have the money, the PSR stuff, to go and buy 2 or 3 players with Isak still there? I don't think they have. I think they were probably looking to spend Isak type money, 130 million all in, and bring in 3 or 4 players, and they could manage that, right? When what they brought in Elanga, to bring in another striker, it's going to cost you the Elanga money again. You know what I mean? And then you're stuck. And people are saying, oh, they'll get 200 million. That won't happen. And they won't be able to sell him for 140 million and loan him straight back, because they just won't, right?
I'd say, do it anyway.
No, but it'd be unbelievable if they tried to do that, because this is a club that are on this PSR fucking, you know, edge. And then you do have, you know, the PIF being looked at all the time, and Newcastle fans will tell you this. They're under massive scrutiny as to what they're doing in Newcastle, and it's kind of a very tight ship they have to run. So I don't see that happen. Vissa has been named, but without sounding too tribalistic, and go just sell us the fucking player. From a Newcastle point of view, I do see where Newcastle go, oh fuck's sake, what did we do here? But I think it's all in their own making at the same time. Because they could have just went, listen, just give fucking Frankfurt the 90 million quid and we'll sell this fella and we have a striker in and we'll take the profit and we'll turn it around and put it onto 3 other players and away we go. I just can't get how, and if there's any Newcastle fans there, Davey included in the chat, Newcastle seems to be in a really good place at the end of last season. And they haven't lost anyone big, but everyone's kind of going, we're all over the place. Is it just a different... Emmet, do you feel like it's a different look because they're in the Champions League? And people are going, yeah, that's fine for the Premier League and not doing anything else. But for the Champions League and stuff, they don't look like they're up to it. And that's where I suppose the panic's coming a little bit from Newcastle fans. Anyone can lose 4-0
but Celtic. But anyway, for any Celtic fans of the house, I think they probably have a little bit of scar tissue from the last time that they were in the Champions League. Okay, they got a couple of results, but it impacted their league form, and they probably realised that we're not strong enough to do both, and I don't think they are. And that's, again, where you go back to they need to strengthen. But in order to strengthen, they're probably going to have to move. I honestly, when this all came about, I honestly thought it was going to be a case of we sign Isak, they get Ekitike, because as much as the Newcastle fans will tell you that the pair of them are going to play together, they definitely weren't. And then when it looked like we were interested in Ekitike, they were interested in Vissa, who they then tried to tell you it was an alternative. At 28, nearly 29, there's no way he was an alternative. I think the idea was Ekitike and Vissa, get rid of Isak to begin with. But then we kind of nearly half called our bluff. But that's what it is. I think Newcastle need to strengthen, or they're going to fall down somewhere. Obviously, they would probably like to go on a run in the Champions League. They have one eye on the Champions League, but if you hold on to Isak, or you do outlay a lot of money and hold on to Isak, and you don't get Champions League next year, they're in big trouble. So they're kind of nearly in a catch-22. They need to strengthen.
Look at Villa now.
Yeah. Ashley's just said the same. She said, look at Villa, they struggled in the league big time and now they're feeling a financially Champions League. That's what waits for Newcastle if they don't invest properly.
And I don't look, they say that they have money to spend. I just don't think they have the money that they think they have to spend. And I hate going back to it, but they need to make big profits somewhere. The one thing I would also have in the back of my head if I'm Isak is they were touting him around last year to try and get PSR. So how much
to who? To Chelsea, wasn't it?
Chelsea, yeah. So and then I think they moved somebody. It was Elliot Anderson. I think they moved on, and that kind of got
Forest,
their head back above water. But it's a big
kind of. Longstaff's gone to Leeds for 12 million for this dish.
Okay, so that's the thing is Longstaff's gone for 12 million, which is pure profit. Okay. And I think the only other one that they've sold is Lloyd Kelly to Juve for 15 million. So that's 27 million they've sold. Everybody else that's left, I was having an argument with someone the other day, so I checked it out. Everybody else that's left is on a free or their contract has been up. So
someone said they have 11 players out of contract next summer as well. I didn't know that.
So it's a massive summer, and I just think and whether Isak comes to us or not, this is just talking about Newcastle. They need to take profit from him, regardless of where he goes, and they need to reinvest it in their squad.
Look, back to Liverpool. We'll wait and see what happens with Isak and Ekitike, and Guehi, because he's getting lost and all this in the centre back stuff. But I think a lot of people are kind of calm on that, and then some others aren't. They're like, just get a fucking centre back. And I know that's PTSD from former centre back issues that we used to have to crack with a couple of years ago. But back to Liverpool. Look, they're flying out early this week for their tour. They played Stoke in a behind closed doors game. Did they end 6? What did they end up?
5-0.
5 was a 5-5. And we got to see a little bit, just tiny little clips of bits and pieces and different players. And like you said earlier, Sean, you know, Darwin gets a hat trick, 3 good finishes. Engamoa playing and starting. But any clips I see in Verts is just running around going, I think, like, genuinely looking at Verts going, it's nearly like he's looking around himself going, are these all in fucking slow motion or what the fuck is going on here, you know? It's like when it's just, he's so exciting, Shiny, to watch. He's going to be unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, you know what? This part of the season is always great when you get to see. Obviously, there's always like a budding young player comes through, and then you have your big signing. The thing is, the Verde signing has got kind of lost in all the noise in the last few weeks, and then you see him, oh yeah, he's coming out then, and he's in all the pictures. We got done so
Shiny,
early.
lean back from your camera, lean back, because you're too near the mic, and that's what's the disturbance. There you go.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, that's what I was saying. No, it kind of got lost, but now we're kind of just waiting to see. And he didn't play against Preston, and you're kind of like, bollocks. But then you realise everything's for a reason. So I just can't wait to watch him. Does players like him make the game look easier than it actually is? And you're just saying that now. I know they're playing Stoke, and I'm sure fucking Stoke's lads are doing double sessions and have heavy legs as well. But looks very, very, very exciting. Pace all over the place. The clips of Frimpong as well. Jesus Christ, like shovel the speed of him. So just it all looks good, and again, I've always been apprehensive of him because I don't normally. I've seen for every fucking Vinicius Junior, the ones that come through Rio Engamoa, there's a fucking Asuma Asoyiri. So there's been loads of players like him. But this jumper looks like he's had to take a little bit of a stretch physically in the summer. And all the noise was when we brought him in first was that the pitch that Liverpool gave him was that, like, look, listen, in the not too far distant future, you're going to be an Air Force team. And I genuinely reckon that could be a lot sooner than many, many people anticipated. Because from the little bits I've seen, he's already playing with his head up, which he wasn't doing when I kind of seen him. Now, obviously, there's flashes of him, he has the skill, but very, very excited by him. Dan's, we haven't really got to have a proper look at him. McConnell, Stevenson looked decent as well. So I love pre-season for that reason only. But I can't lie to you, it's fucking wrecking me head watching him run around the night gear. I can't get my head around it. It's
Johnny's fuming over this.
Yeah, no, genuinely is doing me fucking head in. It's like when you're waiting for the new Pro Evo to come out and they're still forced to play the Yo and we're all shite old kits in it.
I'm genuinely waiting for Ekitike to sign, right? And everyone going, yeah, and Johnny going, yeah, but look at the Nike. Like, it's fucking stupid.
And you know what? I know we won the league and I spent fucking 120 quid in the Virgin with all the bells and whistles on it. But that home kit was boxy last year, wasn't it? It's fucking so poor every time. A bit hoodwinked here, but now we're nearly there. It's another 2 weeks. The season closes in. The boys going off. Hopefully, there's loads of content. No, I'd understand if they probably toned it down a little bit in terms of what they usually do for content for obvious reasons. But no, it's good to see the lads smile and have a laugh back again. I don't know about you, but the inside trainings are a good watch to see the boys having a bit of crack in that in the trainer. And then again, I think the way we've operated in this window, Gav, is that as soon as one thing is done, the next one starts. Now, like, people are saying, what's the story with Guehi? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's just fucking dotting noise and crossing T's job. And having been in Spain and watching a lot of the news over the last few days, like, I can tell you for a fact that it's real. It's definitely real. And it's more of a case of if he doesn't stay at Madrid, he's going to go to Liverpool. That's basically what they're saying. They're saying Barcelona want him as well, but for obvious reasons. But that like,
Barcelona,
and I don't know how I feel about that. apparently they want them. That's what the news was. They want them, and Atletico Madrid want them. But like the noise from that side is that like that is probably one that might happen. Now, I said the other day, we spoke about it ourselves. There's a possible world where they do push Rio on instead of Diaz. Now I think it's a gamble because I don't want to downplay Diaz's contribution last year because he was actually fucking brilliant for us last year. I don't think it's actually spoken about enough. I think he was a very effective attacker for us last year. They might push Rio on to play his minutes. Chiesa is missing out. I don't know whether it's injury or he's off. So they're going to need someone, Gavin. I don't know who it's going to be. I was getting on board with this Mateta stuff, but it looks like now that's not going to happen. So I don't know. Again, it's exciting. It is exciting. Liverpool have just fucking went mad this year saying, do you know all the stuff they used to us doing with leaving us one short and all every window? Yeah, well, that's not happening now. We're going for the whole team got to be here. Whole team can do. And you can all sign who you want, but when it's kicking off in fucking August, we're going to have the strongest league in the last squad in the league. So I don't know what they're going to do. It's fucking mad that I'm sitting here and like you wouldn't have to talk me out potentially signing Isak between now and the end of the window. So yeah, it's fucking great. But I'm just gonna go back to it. The fucking like it's doing me head in.
Well, Dylan O'Rourke there, watching the show and just, trying to be funny, says, is Seany underwater? No, clearly there's an issue with his mic and we're trying to fix it. We thought he was a bit too close to his mic. There's an issue. You know this, Dylan. Why are you asking, is he underwater? Stop being a prick about it. Carl says that mic is still dodgy. We realise that. We can see it happening. We're trying our best.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's okay, Seany. It's okay. There's obviously a bit of
send all your money back to his moany cunts.
Yeah, there you go. That's all we need, is right.
That was loud.
Is he underwater? Anyway. Is he? Yeah, fuck it. I swear to God, I'd pay. You must do stand up at the weekends. Dylan says, "Ask me bollocks, will you? Will you started it, Dylan? You know what I mean? You started it. We can survive.
Don't worry, Gav. I say that was muffled enough that you're not getting.
No. Your money comes come out really clear. It's absolutely fine.
No, you're not doing it now. It wasn't as clear as that. Wasn't as clear as clear as yours now.
I can edit anything, Johnny. I can make it as clear as Chris. You don't worry about it. That was the clearest he sounded all nice as Passio. So there you go. It definitely was.
Shower
and people will go, oh, why is he saying that to Dylan? Dylan won't get upset. Relax, Dylan's cool. Emma, look, as Seany said there, it is exciting. What'll happen, we don't know, but it's exciting and people are buzzing over it. And a lot of people are saying, well, before we go on the tour, we want these players. And I don't know, we've gone on the tour, and there's players gone on that tour that we think are going to be sold. And there's players that we think we're going to buy aren't on the fucking plane. Do you know what I mean? It's how it works. But the world isn't as big as it used to be. They can just put them on another plane and send them somewhere else if they are moving or joining us, wherever it might be.
The world isn't as big as it used to be.
No, it's not.
It's shrinking.
No, it's not. It's just,
erosion.
You don't have to go everywhere on boats. We're not fucking, Christopher Columbus. We have planes now. You know what I mean? But it's. I wouldn't worry about who's gone and who's not gone and stuff like that. But Emma, it is really exciting for what we're looking to do here. And aside from all the transfer stuff, I just want to see them playing football. In a game, in a stadium. Milan next week, isn't it? Milan next Saturday. That's what I want to see. I want to see them. Put them all on there now and see how we're getting on.
Yeah, just even that little kind of clips today from the behind the closed doors friendly kind of to whet your appetite. And you're just looking like, I think it's 12:30 next Saturday Irish time. They're playing AC Milan, so that's handy. But it is the teams have been, the lineups and positions and that have been a little bit all over the shop as well. So as we get closer, you're going to start seeing what you kind of get an idea of what he foresees his shape being and what he foresees his starting 11 being. I think the starting team today probably was a little bit stronger than the starting 11 against Preston. So as it goes on, you'll probably go out against AC Milan next week with kind of nearly 75% of what you expect them to probably start the season with as well. So yeah, it's so exciting now just to see how they link up together. Like even the short clips today, you could see kind of like even Neoni like spraying that ball out to Soboslai on the right wing, and we just seem to be moving it a lot quicker. And like Seany said there as well, like I knew Frimpong was fast, but fuck me, like that was unbelievable watching him. And how high he was getting. I think he actually played in the front three. I think somebody said as well today. So it's getting really, really exciting. I expect us to see another couple of bodies come in. They're probably away with their teams at the moment on tour. So look, it's not like they're sitting around on their sofa watching Holmes under the hammer or something, waiting for the call from Liverpool. They are doing training. They will be fit. Yeah, just kind of get it going. What is it? AC Milan. Then who was it we got after that?
I couldn't tell you. I don't take it.
And then there's two games.
We're playing Yokohama. I think one of the Japanese sides. I think.
And then there's only two more after that on the same day, and then it's the Crystal Palace Community Shield. So, look, it is getting exciting. It is a little bit muted. I think Seany's right in saying that, but I think the club have handled everything over the last couple of weeks perfectly, and I said it can continue to do so. And somebody said it there as well. I'm wearing a Nike top here. I probably should have taken that off instead of upsetting Seany.
Ekitike's reveal is going to be him doing a cross-country drive with Dion Dublin, going through the mountains in Japan, looking at
Dion
people's
Dublin just strolling into gaffs going, and the stairs up there to the bedrooms. There you go. All over
Dion
Japan.
Dublin's selling Ekitike a 2-bed apartment in Crosby.
Yeah. Ekitike is going to rock into Liverpool now, go into his new gaff, and Dion Dublin will be coming out of the attic telling the
I just can't wait to hear Brian Kerr trying to say his name, and he's doing game on Virgin Media for the Champions League. Ekitike, deadly player.
That always reminds me of Joe Kinnear trying to say. Remember Joe Kinnear trying to say all the Newcastle players' names? Go back if you type into YouTube Joe Kinnear Newcastle names. Shola Amiobi. You want to hear him trying to say Shola Amiobi? Off the charts, good it was. Liverpool just to clear this up. Yokohama. F Marinos on Wednesday, following the AC Milan game this Saturday coming. The following Wednesday we have Yokohama, and then we're back to play 2 games against Bilbao at Anfield on Monday the 4th of August, and then we play Palace in the Charity Shield on the 10th of August, followed by Bournemouth at home on Friday. So there we go. Look, it's been another eventful week. I'm sure next week will be eventful as well. Thanks to everyone for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do there. If you want to go across onto our Patreon, you can. The link is in the description as well. It's patreon.com/Talkin Kop, and we will have shows on both the YouTube and the Patreon throughout this week. Seany, anything else before we go?
No, all good. Exciting stuff, exciting times. Everyone's getting what they want this year. Loads of transfers, loads of new kits, loads of content. All the gear. It's bleeding great. We didn't even get to talk about. Do you know what? Actually, I want to amount the silence for the poor fucker who has 20,000 white Liverpool jerseys knockoffs ready to go for the next season, only for them to be absolutely nothing like what the second
jersey cream or something.
It doesn't even look the same.
He's gonna have to buy about 14 washing machines, right, and throw them in there with like brown jumpers to try to get a bit of colour off them.
There you go. If anyone's out there in a bit of a pickle because you have to buy a load of new stock off DHK, get on to Gav there. He'll sort you out.
I know a lad with loads of washing machines, and just what you need to do is you need to throw about 10 jerseys into the washing machine with a brown pair of tracksuit bottoms, and just let them roll, and they'll come out in nice whatever colour you needed there. Yeah, that was mad, wasn't it? I tell you something. What happens if the green one doesn't come out? That's all I'm going to say.
But there has been slight changes to that in the new leaked photographs.
Do you know? I can't think.
There's a black trim on the neck and the collar and the cuffs. Apparently, that wasn't in previous ones.
I can't stop thinking of the fella in Dublin Airport when we went over in May, And
Wearing it.
And I know, he just, honestly, Sean, he sat down, he looked around to see who was looking at him, and he zipped down this tracksuit top and took her off, and he had the home jersey on.
Oh, the red one in the smoking there.
Yeah, and we're like, what? It looked like someone drew it with crayons. And he was just sitting there proud as fuck. I can't, anytime I think of these jerseys, I think of him. But yeah, the Adidas stuff. Is that August the 1st?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not far off.
Look, that's going to be a great day because they're obviously going to have something lined up. And then we're going to find out what numbers everyone's wearing as well, I'd imagine.
Well, I have a feeling there's one or two waiting for other lads to leave so they can take them numbers. And
that's what I think as well, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think that might be as well.
Chies is off. He wears 14. So does Isak. Just saying.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh,
on that bombshell.
Oh, on that bombshell. Shawnee, I was going to ask you something, Shawnee, but you're not old enough. To be honest with you, you wouldn't remember.
Well,
there was a show on. There was a show
I'm an adult.
I know you're an adult, but you're about 10 years younger than me, and I think I was about 10 when I seen this. It was the thing we were talking about the other night where. Was it Ube? Was the name of the show?
Ube.
And the girl come on and they gave her 8 golf or 10 golf courses and just showed her all the pictures of the holes to study. And then they left her for a week, came back and went, right, what hole is that? And she was like, oh yeah, that's the course and that's the hole. But I'm trying to find it on YouTube. So if anyone can find it, let me know.
You'll definitely get on TikTok. 100% you'll get on TikTok.
Will you?
It was your man that. I think there might have been a couple of presenters on it, and one of them was your man Henry Kelly that used to do Going for Gold, and the other fella was Matthew. What was your fella with
Stars in Your Eyes?
Stars in Your Eyes. Yeah, he
Matthew
did it
Kelly.
as well. Matthew Kelly. There's a few of them that actually did it. There was other people that went on it, and they would play the sound of a car, and they'd be able to tell you what car it was just from the noise of the engine. Seriously, it was fucking brilliant.
That sounds like an episode of Father's Head.
Yeah. Ring, ding, 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 ding. That's a Honda 50.
Oh, deadly serious. I'm going to pull up the load.
Going down the main street in Dingle. Imagine people learning that. That's mad, isn't it? Isn't it mad what people do learn?
Registration plates off by heart as well. And
yeah.
It just always reminds me of that clip of Marty Morrissey out in the RDS when Ireland playing in Italia 90, and he turns down to your man, what's the story with all the gear you have on all there? Yeah, well, I was in a bike accident and I broke my neck and you
Your man's head is being held on with sellotape.
He thinks he's dressed up for the fucking up. And what's the story with all the gear you had on here? And your man's like, yeah, well, I nearly died last week, Marty, actually, to be honest with you.
Your man's head is being held on by Blue Tech. And he's asking him what the crack is. Oh, that was fucking fantastic as well. But there's another fellow I do see randomly. Don't follow him around, but he randomly comes up on a timeline. I think he's like a train spotter. But he's like a posh fella.
Oh,
yeah, that's
Francis
your man.
Bourgeois.
Yeah. And he's be like, oh, here's, and he gets really excited when the train is coming up because he knows exactly what the train is.
And he has the GoPro on a yoke in front of his head.
I think
he looks like an alien.
Does he stop what he's doing
and
tells his girlfriend right, we're going because Thomas the Tank Engine is fucking
coming
out of the water.
Making a fortune, playing Gucci and Burberry and all that sponsoring him.
Yeah,
mad.
If you seen him on a platform, you'd walk up the other end. Let's be honest.
Yeah. You'd be waiting to see what carriage you got on. You get it on the furthest away carriage, couldn't you?
100%.
He's what your granny would call back in the 80s harmless.
Yeah, so harmless.
He's harmless.
Lovely fella. He wouldn't do anything to anyone, as your mother would say. But come here, just playing the noise of a car, fellas. What would you like to try that? Would you be good at stuff like that? If someone said to you, right, we're going to play whatever, and you have to remember or think, would you be any good at it?
The first few notes of songs would be good.
There's actually a website for that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like Wordle.
Yeah, something like that.
There's you the
a fella on TikTok that he'll play the first couple of beats of a song and you have to guess what it is.
Do you know what I'm really good at? And this is weird, but like if there's a radio playing right in the house, well, like Alexa, not a radio, who plays a fucking radio nowadays, but the Alexa could be on and it'd be on really low and I might walk by the room and just by hearing the tiny bit really low I can tell what the song is, And I amaze myself. I actually do say to myself, fucking hell, I got that right. I do walk up and
Great
go,
hearing, Gav.
yeah, I have fantastic hearing. So there you go. So if I go on to you, Betty, go, what are you good at? Just hearing stuff. So just
Wow, what a superpower.
yeah. Do you remember when you were in school years ago and they used to do the hearing test on you? Do you remember that?
The beeps.
And the beeps. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? How many beeps did you hear? And I thought it was more than a hearing test. I thought they were saying you were a bit mad. You know,
Yeah,
but,
I think you might have been in the blatant Cow's Nest, boys, to be honest with you.
this is what I'm saying,
That
Johnny.
was.
The 10-year difference with us is huge. We used to go in and go, right, the hearing tests are on today, and you went down and there was like a box with 2 wires coming out of it. All these wires coming out, and you'd sit there and put these things, headphones on, and then they go, now, just raise your hand if you hear a noise, and raise your hand if you hear
depending on what ear.
I was fucking mad, yeah. But
I remember going to the shop from your man buying our smokes.
What? Yeah, they just write a note.
With a note.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that now.
Give Sean 20
which ironically enough used to be on the back of another cigarette box.
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah. Red Steve says, Gav, just by listening to a song, you can tell what song it is.
Yeah, Gav was.
That's basically what you just said, Gav. That's basically what you said.
It is. No, it's not. It's when it's really low.
Fucking Shazam over there.
No, it's not like I'm sitting in front of the Alexa and it's low and I'm going, I can hear that song and I know what it is because it's really low and I'm good at hearing. It's when you're walking by something, you go, oh, and it's just you catch a note and go, that's that song.
Speaking of that, do you know what rabbit hole I went down in the last few nights?
That's fantastic, Red Steve.
Yeah, it's like on TikTok, like just going into a mad rabbit hole of samples that I used.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
brilliant.
You played one for us last week.
Yeah, and you're hearing things like fucking Prodigy, Jesus Christ, man, what a genius. The producer, like some of the mad gear that, and I was going, gee, and now I stuck it on the way home, listening to one of the albums, and I was like, now you can hear all the tunes being merged into one. Mad gear like that, but Gav,
Eminem,
would I be able to tell you?
Was it Eminem you were saying?
Eminem with Chaz and Dave. How mad is that?
Yeah, that is mad. That was mad. But I'd be able to tell you what the song is because I can listen to it and then I go, that's that song. I'm the human version of Shazam. I just sit in your car beside you and when the song plays and you go, I wonder what that is, I just tell you what it is. That's what it is.
That just before bleeding, Joe Duffy's about to tell you. And that was, do you know what that was? That was Dolly Parton. What song was it, Gab? I don't know.
I can actually vision it now. I can vision Joe Duffy sitting in a room and going, and that there was, and then, the camera just cuts to me beside him. Do you know, like your man does the videos, your man Darren, what's his name? He does all
Darren Conway.
Yeah, the way he does the ads where it's just him talking to himself in different outfits. But it'd be me and Joe Duffy. Because Joe Duffy's doing nothing now. He could sit there just playing songs in his gaff and I could just tell him what it is and we could do TikTok videos that way.
So actually what it is when you Shazam a song, it just goes to Gav's gaff and then he just sent there. That's
I just stand in the front door smoking.
Shagav.
I just there.
I actually can't, you know what? I was thinking to myself, this fella a blatant cabbage, what's he talking about? Then Red Steve got this gaff there who can tell you the name of a song by listening to it.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And you know what the best thing about it is? I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. And you know what? You won't beat me down. I'll still walk down the hall past my kitchen and think, I bet you that's that song, and it will be, and I'll be fucking delighted with myself. So there you go. Go fuck yourselves. Anyway, that has been it. Emmet, anything else before we go?
No, all good.
I do actually. I have one more.
Go on.
Remember the phone jacker skit when he rings up the record store and starts pretending to beatbox to beat down the phone, and the two lads are absolutely breaking their bollocks laughing at the shop.
The phone jacker was so good.
He should have just rang you, Gav. He should have just rang you.
Me. I'll tell you what song it is. No problem. But anyway, that's it. We apologize.
Oh, we didn't even hold on. We didn't even talk about your man getting caught at the Coldplay concert.
No, do you know what? That was good, but the other stuff around it has been off the charts. Good. Did you see the one where was it a baseball game and they done the kiss cam? Did you see that? That was fucking brilliant. People, I wouldn't mind
if they had kept a bit of composure, they would have got away with it.
Yeah.
would have never went viral.
No.
But
Absolutely
did you
no
see
way.
your man's apology? Was the
Fantastic, wasn't it?
cringiest thing
Yeah.
that you'll ever see when he
I
finishes
take
it
I
off.
take
The
full
line from
responsibility, but
Coldplay
it's definitely
song.
Coldplay's fault.
What are you joking me?
No, I'm
The
serious.
last line of his statement was, "What was it? Lights will guide you home."
Yeah, he
And
start
I will
quoting.
try,
He
and
start
I will
quoting with
try
everything.
to fix you. I was like, what
Chris
the
Martin's going to get whacked.
Just see, you have to go and read the
Read
the
his statement
apology.
is
It's fucking brilliant. He
unbelievable.
tendered his resignation, and he accepted it. He's gone. But yeah, no, read the thing, Sean. It was fantastic.
I've seen someone say his wife probably would have divorced him anyway and gone to a Coldplay concert. I don't think they're being great. Yeah, the concert was great.
Yeah,
But yeah, I went with my mistress. I just didn't get caught.
yeah. But the way they dived,
Bollocks! Have I said that on the internet?
did I type that out loud? But yeah, like you said, did he just stood there? But would he just went by them and no one would have thought anything of it? But there you go.
No.
It's given people loads of entertainment this week. So fair play to you, man, and your woman. You've been the stars.
The recreation with Joey Barton and Ennio Luca was probably my favourite.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Ennio Luca actually looks like Danny Rose wearing a wig, but I think it
Yeah,
is.
hold on. The last thing I'll leave it on, right? I won't even tell. I'll leave you all to do as I said. Go and look at the clip of Joey Barton trying to say Gyökeres's name.
Yes, I've seen it. Is this where he's talking about taking the penalties?
It's one of honestly.
Yeah,
He
hasn't.
If brains were as smart, honestly, the two brain cells he had must be lonely. Fuck me, that fella is an absolute Amadan.
Yeah. There you go. Dylan says Shawnee has an awful habit of coming clean on this show. The wall paint a few months ago, and now this breaking news.
Listen, I'm leaving her all behind me. I don't care.
Doesn't
But
give a
no,
bollocks.
she's pregnant, but I have to hold on to her.
Yeah,
But no, leave the rest of it.
Doesn't
I'll
care
have to
about the
go.
paint. He actually told us the full story about the paint afterwards. It was absolutely fantastic. Right, we gotta go. That's been Emma. I've been Gav. That's been Shawnee. That's been your Sunday Night Cop. Thanks again to everyone for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that messing, and we talk to you soon. Over and out.